You are now listening to the Basic and Boujie podcast.
And we're live.
And we're rolling.
Welcome. That's my favorite.
The first one, welcome.
Welcome, she's back.
Yeah.
They know who I am. I don't need an introduction.
Her.
I don't need no introduction. What I need is an apology for the way they disrespected me in previous podcasts. I really don't understand what the hate is, why they feel as though they have to come up with some sort of pseudonym for me.
Because then you're going to check.
I don't need no check. Just the fact that people know me is enough. It's not my fault that I'm so wrapped into your lives that you have to say my name in every podcast. Like, I wasn't even supposed to be here today. I was just taking the weekend away from my regular life to just chill.
Say what you were doing.
Say what you were doing.
You're getting away from your family.
Oh, yeah, I was getting away from my family. Yeah, I'm getting away from my family. But yeah, Mel asked me, do you want to be on it? What am I going to say? No, I'm here. Why not? That's why I'm in this sweatshirt, because I didn't come ready for all of this, but I'm here, but they don't want me here, but whatever.
Fine if you don't want me.
But it's very nice to be back. Although my introduction was supposed to be much more dramatic. Okay, I was going to be.
We don't even know how to introduce ourselves.
Right? Yeah, y'all don't even know. I knew what my introduction was going to be. I wanted Smoke Machine to be carried out by 4 scantily clad, oiled up men. Sunglasses and a robe.
It's not that big.
Well, we would have made it work. I would have rolled in on the dog. I don't care. Like,
comes in through the balcony on the 10th floor.
We can make it work.
It's a helicopter drop.
But yes, it's very nice to be back. Well, thank you. Thank you very
welcome back,
much.
Bitter.
Yes, Bitter is here.
Bitter.
We'll do a little. We sip and then we do our cheers because we don't have no coupe.
Nope.
So cheers to another great episode.
Yay.
Clink.
What's this? Oh, Joss, you picked this up. It's a sangria.
I just picked up a really pretty bottle of sangria.
It is a pretty bottle. We'll insert a photo. I don't want to put brands because y'all gonna have to start paying us.
Yeah.
This is getting crazy.
She's gonna need money.
On the third travel.
Somebody has to pay the guests. No, but it is really good and the bottle's pretty.
Yeah.
So again, we never know what number episode this is, so we're gonna skip over that part.
Yeah, I used to know, but I stopped counting. But when
This
you
might be
didn't
7.
know, I was like, y'all are like episode 6. You talking about like episode 4, 3 or 4?
Because we had those 2-parters.
I'm like, there's 2 2-parters, the intro, some other one, and then the 7. So I think this is actually 8.
Is it?
This might be 8.
We'll find
Technically,
out. We'll find out when
8.
this airs.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys will find out or when I edit it.
Who's counting? We're professionals.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, because when you get to like that 100th episode, you gotta have a whole little celebration.
Oh,
and
we need it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Then we'll have a smoke machine.
Man. For y'all, of course.
Of course.
And you can watch.
You can throw the
From
confetti.
afar. Oh, I'm gonna throw the confetti. Oh, y'all gonna be part of production?
Yep.
That bitch.
You're hired, but not to sit at the table.
See what happens when you do a good job?
Apparently.
You get more work.
Apparently. Which is an excellent segue.
Oh,
Yes.
All right.
So work.
Excellent segue into our subject matter. Proceed.
Because what are we talking about today?
Yes.
talking about shitty bosses, 9-to-5 life,
Fuck that shit.
and everything in between.
Everything
Yeah.
in between.
Hopefully making this what we do.
Right.
So,
That would be nice.
yeah, we
to
have
make
some
this a
examples, some
full-time
pseudonyms to protect the shitty bosses.
The identity of the shitty bosses.
Why should we protect them? I mean, I understand you want to avoid, any sort of drama, but I feel as though if you're a shitty boss, everybody should know about it.
I feel like
as a
everyone
warning.
knows when someone's a shitty boss,
Right.
but no one talks about it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the shitty boss don't know they're a shitty boss. They think
They probably think you're doing a great fucking job.
They
You're
probably
not.
Awesome.
You're not.
You definitely are not. Are not.
I read a quote that said something like, a good employee doesn't leave because they don't like the work or the employees. A good employee normally leaves from bad management.
Yes.
And I 100% agree with that.
100% agree.
Yep.
You don't leave a job. You leave a person.
Yeah.
You leave the person.
There's
you were
that always
working
that
for.
one person you're like, you know what? I'm done. Like I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm done
can't
with this
do it.
whole situation. Like you miss the job, the other coworkers, all that, but that one person will make you miserable, and you'll be like, no, fuck you,
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, they make Mondays even worse.
Yes,
No, I can't.
they are Monday.
Yeah, so how about some examples? So I'm gonna name my boss Rosita, my former boss, not my current boss. 100% I love my current boss.
Okay.
A previous employer that I had, the worst. She or he would you wouldn't know when they were on vacation. You wouldn't know when they were in the office. You wouldn't know if they were going to show up to the office. You wouldn't know if they were going to reply to your email, your phone call, your text messages. Nothing. It was their agenda. When they wanted to reach out to you, when they needed something, that's when they came to you. And that just made you feel like, why the fuck am I even here?
Right. Just when you just feel like I'm just a number.
Yeah. And you don't value me enough to give me the respect to tell me if you're even going to be here, when you're going to be out, what do you need from me in a timely fashion, not all this like rush because you said it's a rush and you high prioritize that fucking email, that little.
Because there's probably something that they was responsible for anyway, and now they're coming down on you.
Now they're coming to you, or I've been thrown under the bus several times for that manager's mishaps. So that manager not doing what they were supposed to do, throw me and a colleague under the bus in front of us in an office on the phone with like the admins, throwing us under the bus, and me and the colleague were like, wait,
like what happened?
Do you hear that? Did that just happen?
Yeah, but you know what, when they do it in your face like that, like in the room with you, you ever see like watch a sitcom or something like that, and you see someone taking credit for someone else's work and that person won't speak up? Fuck that.
Oh no,
I'm gonna blow up your spot right in front of everybody, and it might be unprofessional, but I'd be damned if you take credit for something that I did. So I have no problem speaking up and telling you to your face, oh, we doing that? Because allow me to interject and let me let you know that that is not how it went.
Yeah.
No, that's bullshit. It's like a group project. And I hate group.
Group projects.
Group projects. Because I just feel like I was always the one ended up doing the work, and everybody don't get an A. I get an A. This is what I did. I don't know where the fuck this girl was. She just showed up and just stood in the back of the line of the presentation, but she gets an A.
Right. And that's not just during adulthood and college or anything like that. Layla is in 4th grade. She does group projects with her friends. And when I walk in on her, she's always the one taking the notes, asking the questions and stuff like that. The teacher even said, I want to hear from everyone, not just Layla.
Right.
I was like, oh, so this is not the first time it's happened. Layla does all the work while her friends just kind of feed her little crumbs here and there.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's just all through life. When you find somebody that's going to do the work and you know they're not going to complain about it, they take advantage.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I hate it. I'm like, I remember in school there was like group project, or it might have been more so in college, where they wanted us to do group projects. I'm like, really? Like, well, this is even weirder because now we don't even know each other. Like, this is just college. And I've asked the professor, like, I will do all the work. Do not put me in a group, please. And like, no, this is how it works. Like, this is bullshit.
For what?
And I feel like volunteering is also, sorry, I feel like I'm super loud. Volunteering is also the same thing. Like, people want to volunteer, but when they get there, they're kind of like, I don't know what to do.
Right,
they just like stand around.
There.
And you can't even say anything because like they're volunteering.
They're volunteering,
right?
so
you
it's
can't
like,
be like,
I guess you're here, so that's it.
You need to do this, or that happens all the time. And serving on like boards or advisory boards, there's always a group of people who like you feel like they're not pulling their weight.
Right.
What do you say? What do you do? Everyone's volunteering. You don't know what everybody's schedule is like, what they have going on. But when it's blatant, like I'm not gonna do this and you're gonna do all the work. That's when it's
people running around with like chickens with their heads cut off, and somebody's like scrolling, doing whatever. Like, you guys need any help? Oh, I was gonna ask you if you need help, but it looks like you got it. No, bitch, get up.
Or I've been in situations where you as the volunteer are going and the person that's like in charge of you is like treating you like you're
they treat you like a gopher, like don't do this, do that.
I'm not saying you need to be super grateful that I'm here, but that's not how you talk to your people either, because I'm not going to come back.
Exactly.
That's how you treat your volunteers.
Yeah, so you treat your volunteers even nicer than your employees, because that's free labor. They don't have to be there. They could be somewhere else. Ugh, the bosses. The 9 to 5, Monday through Friday lifestyle. We need to figure out who created that. Who said it was okay to work 5 days and only have 2 days off?
The British.
Is that where it came from?
I don't know, probably. They invent everything. But yeah, like the 4-day work
We'll
week.
blame Meghan Markle for that one too.
Yeah. Like, who said 5 days straight and 2 days off was okay? Like, no. 4 hours,
4 days off
week.
a month.
4 days off a month. Basically,
20 working days and 4 days off a month.
No. That's completely uneven. That just doesn't work.
But also makes sense. Now that we're in this pandemic, and most of us are still working from home, right? Now you feel even more tied to your computer, right? I feel like you can get to me anytime you want because you know I'm home,
right?
And that's not okay either, because I've had issues where my calendar gets booked back to back to back to back to back with meetings. When am I going to go to the bathroom, eat, take a break? Like, I can't be here at your beck and call because you saw a spot open on my calendar. I need time. It's open
so, like,
for
fill it yourself. Bathroom.
Yeah.
Break. Lunch.
Yeah.
Lunch.
No, that's not a bad idea. Like, put that on the schedule. Like,
personal
I will
time.
be at lunch at this time.
Yeah. No, and I block my 12 to 1. Just like that, right? But occasionally something will go in, and I understand occasionally, that's fine. But like, if you see a half hour worth of time in between, like
They're just squeezing
9
stuff
to
in
noon,
there.
that's my time. I need a minute. And even now, I've booked like my whole Friday. I have it like blocked, because if you got me in meetings back to back Monday through Thursday, when am I going to follow up with everything?
When am I going to actually work aside from just sitting here in this fucking meeting? Yeah,
that's true.
And I'm not going to have the same energy at 2 p.m. that I had at 10 if you got me back to back to back to back to back.
Right.
So this whole pandemic, I love working from home, but it also is like
it's like an invasion of your space.
Yes.
Because you don't have a workspace, right? Like Kyle will come in the middle of me working because we're home. So there's not that boundary of like he wouldn't just come up to my desk before, right?
Exactly.
The way he would now.
Right.
No,
but he couldn't interrupt me anytime.
Hey guys.
That's fine.
Hey boo. Let's see. My 9 to 5. Probably my very first, I guess you could say 9 to 5. I was 16, part-timer, working at Filing's Basement, and it was a Center City location on Chestnut Street, which is no longer there. Been gone for years. I think there's maybe like only 2 left in the whole state. I want to say St. David's and somewhere else. I haven't seen a Filing's Basement in years, but if you are someone, grew up in the 80s, 90s, you're very familiar with Filing's Basement. Just, big old department store, sells everything. It's like a mini Macy's. Right. But way less expensive. And
get our polo stuff from.
Yeah, that's where I got my polo stuff from. So yeah, in high school I was Ralph Lauren, everything, book bags, sneakers, socks, shoes, underwear.
What an upgrade from middle school, because middle school was like Reeboks, because that's all Hilda was buying, and then you got a job,
and I got my own job. You can't tell
us nothing.
Yeah, right. You got that employee discount. We opening the boxes. We got first dibs on whatever came in. I would hold it in the bag. When my little paycheck came, my paycheck went right back to Filing's Basement.
I need a job like that just for that. I should get like a job at Saks or something just to pay for my shopping habit.
But working retail, that was the one and only retail job I had, because I was like, I will never work food industry, anything that has to deal with the public all the time, especially in Center City with those entitled assholes that work down there that will come down on their lunch hour and stuff like that. Filing's Basement. Yeah, because of the location, it was the type of clientele that came in. They felt as though like they owned the place basically.
You work for them.
They work for
Filing's Basement.
Yeah. That was their basement.
Right. That was their basement.
You're welcome to my basement.
So I worked the cash register, and I had a supervisor. We'll call her BB. Very, very, very heavy set woman. Always dressed to the nines, hair nice, makeup nice, but she had the worst body odor. It was like she didn't get in between the rolls, and it was it was like this unspoken thing with the staff. We knew she smelled bad, but nobody would ever dare approach her. That is for another podcast, girl. Hygiene. Yeah, you can definitely do a whole episode on hygiene.
Because I've definitely been around people where I'm like, I'm just a little rick today.
But
how do you tell somebody, like, girl or guy?
Yeah.
Today's not a fresh one for you.
Not sure. Not sure. But yeah, so you know, I worked after school in the afternoon. So I worked from like 4 to 9 or something like that, 5 to 9. And there was this balcony that went around the perimeter of the store. So you from above you can see the entire first floor, because it was the basement, the ground level, and then the second floor where the men's department was. And when closing time came, shut the doors, I'd have to count out my register. Whenever I was done with that, I'd have to go fix up the floor or whatever. And she would stand up there and just oversee, make sure everything was being done. Didn't pitch in. Not that probably wasn't your job. You feel as though, okay, I'm the manager. I hired you minions to do this job. Why should I go down there and help? But it was like she will call people out from up there, so everybody that was working heard it. Like bring your big ass downstairs.
You know she wasn't gonna do that.
And say something to me face to face. Like don't embarrass people.
Right.
And she probably was working with a bunch of high school students and thought that she could do, because I remember that, like, working with older people, or like, well, I thought considered older at the time, probably in their early 30s, and they felt like, oh, well, I'm the manager. All right, relax. You're the manager of like Pep Boys. Sit the fuck down. Right. Like, I'm a high school student. I should be working here. What's your excuse? Right. Leave me the fuck alone.
Right. No, exactly. But yeah, she was just in general, she just was not a nice person. And secretly, she knew Spanish. Ooh. I overheard her speaking Spanish, and I said, oh shit. But she looked like a regular old lady. But I'm looking, I'll tell you her name later, but it did not sound like a Hispanic name. And I think she was married to a Hispanic man, which is why she knew Spanish. But she knew Spanish the way we know Spanish.
Right.
Oh.
So it wasn't like a couple of words here and there. It was like, nah, she could hold a whole conversation with you.
See, I don't tell people I speak Spanish until they ask me.
No, I definitely don't.
Same exact thing.
I definitely don't. No, because I've caught quite a few people talk shit in front of me.
Remember when you were pregnant and almost threw down at Walmart?
Oh my God. Oh,
I just had a flashback.
God.
Tell me more. Hold on.
Jamie was like, she was about to pop. And I don't even remember what she was saying, but she was talking in Spanish.
Let me tell you exactly. Oh no! Oh,
you remember?
Oh, I know word for word, girl. Like I'm there. I'm there right now. 2 years ago, I'm there right now.
Fucking Walmart.
And I know we're veering off subject.
This was when you were pregnant with Layla.
No, ma'am. Oh wait, was it Layla?
This was
damn. Yeah, you're right.
This was
you're
a
right.
long time ago.
You're right. Yes. So yes, I was pregnant with. It was my first pregnancy. So it's back in 2011. I'm in the express line, waiting. You're standing there with me. There's a woman that I can see from my peripheral that's behind me, and she's looking to the right, but her cart is still coming towards me, like she's lining up. She did not stop. She got a little too close, so I put my hand up just to stop the cart from hitting my big 8-month pregnant ass. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, whatever. Apologize in broken English or whatever." Oh, no problem. Her son comes over and she's like in Spanish, "Hold my spot here for me. I gotta go check something out," and watch her so she don't push the cart out the way.
Oh yeah.
Turned around. Déjame decirte una cosa. I went real Hispanic on her and shocking her face. Right. But then she like called herself and started talking shit back to me in Spanish. Mm-hmm. And her son was like, "Mom, like calm down, like relax."
Because
like,
she was wrong.
You dead ass wrong. First of all, I said I didn't push your cart. I prevented your cart from hitting me because you weren't paying attention. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if she just didn't realize I was pregnant. She just didn't give a fuck. She was so in her head.
Right.
And then,
well, God forbid somebody's wrong. They're wrong, and they admit that they're wrong.
Yeah, and obviously her son was like mortified, so she probably does this like all the time, whatever. But like, don't do that. Stop that. Like, I'm sure Asian people do it with us. Like when we're in the salon, they probably talk a whole lot of shit, but we don't know what the fuck they're saying.
Right. Stop assuming.
But
that
stop,
people
because you're gonna come across the wrong person. You're gonna come across somebody that does understand that language, and they're gonna tell you about yourself. They might not even say shit. They just knock your ass out.
That's it.
Like, don't do that. Don't do it, because I will get you together real quick, fast, and in a hurry in both languages.
Right.
So don't do that.
Do you ever see Seinfeld? Do you ever watch Seinfeld?
Every once in a blue moon.
There was an episode where Elaine went to the nail salon and she brought George's dad with her because he spoke, I want to say Vietnamese.
Yeah.
And she was like, I want to know if they're talking about me.
Okay.
She wrote Spy. That reminds me of that.
Yeah, like
There was a nail salon on 5th Street that had a black girl working in a Vietnamese or one of those salons.
How she get it up there?
You actually was the one that told me about her, and she speaks that language. Looking at her, you would not know.
Yeah.
But she speaks the language.
I forgot all about that. Yeah, I remember that.
She does speak the
She might
language.
be married to somebody.
Most likely, and I think she might have been mixed. She had the eyes, the slanted eyes. So I don't know, but yeah, you just don't be disrespectful like that. And I don't like when, because my husband is black. Everybody in his family black. If we have a gathering, and my mom's, the first language she goes to is Spanish, and she doesn't mean to be offensive, but it's like it makes those around you uncomfortable that don't speak the language. And I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable, but I'm also not going to be ashamed of my culture and, just stop because you're there. So every once in a while, I might throw in a Spanish word here and there, but then I'm going to turn around and explain to you what it is. But,
I don't want other people to feel like I'm talking
right.
about them. I'm like, I got to include this person in the conversation so we're not talking shit about you. We're just speaking in our native tongue.
So you just be careful. Just be careful, that's all. But back to the subject.
I'm going to bring that back around the shitty bosses.
Yeah,
show you how.
Go on. Segue, go ahead.
Being bilingual. They love to hire bilingual people. However, they don't like to compensate bilingual people. And that was a big problem for me at the hospital because when I worked at Torresdale, most people knew I spoke Spanish. But there were other Spanish-speaking people there, so they didn't really bother me that much. But when I got to Frankfurt, I think I was the only person that spoke Spanish. And I wasn't a nurse then. I think I was still I had transferred and I was a unit clerk. And the reason I transferred was because I had a shitty boss. Anyways, so there's a language line that you can use. You call whatever it translates, but it's just, of course, out of laziness, just being easy, whatever, people would just come to me. But it was probably about a year before they realized that I spoke Spanish. One of the doctors dined me out because he used to work at Torresdale, and then when he worked at Frank, he was like, "Oh shit, I didn't know you worked here." Blah blah blah. So there was some emergency, and he was like, "Just get Mel. She speaks Spanish." I was like, "God damn it, Chris!" Nobody knew that.
No.
After that, it was like, just get Mel, and I had to start saying no.
Yeah.
And then they would make me feel bad about it, but I'm not getting paid for this.
Right.
Every time you pick up that language line, it's like $1,000 call. So why would I do it for free?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, the doctors were great about it. They'd be like, "Listen, I'll buy you lunch for the next week," or whatever. I started wheeling and dealing since y'all don't want to fucking pay me for it. Like,
For sure.
You're not a medical blah blah. No, and I understand that, and I would never do more than I could understand. Like, I wouldn't do like consents for surgery or something like that. But a basic triage. What are you here for today? Do you have pain? Sure. But it just, my shit was getting backed up because I was stopping what I was doing to go help other people translate when you have all these devices that can help you. And I remember going to my manager at the time, and she was like, "Oh, well, it's not required for your job." Okay, but it's happening. So either you need to send out an email or something and tell people to stop asking me, or what? And she did. And they still continue to ask.
No.
I'm like, refer to the email, por favor.
No, I had a job like that, like similar to that. They didn't do it like that often, but there was one day that I got pulled from my normal workload because the company I was working for was contracting a janitorial company to, come and clean up the offices or whatever. Well, the contract was almost up, so they wanted to hire some of the people from that company to see if they would come work with them permanently, or people that I was working with. And everybody on the janitorial staff was Hispanic and did not speak English. Most of them probably either on green card or just straight up illegal. And there was no one else in the entire building that spoke Spanish.
That like blows my mind.
So the general manager asked me, and he had me in the room. He was interviewing these people, so I had to translate his questions to the interviewee.
I'm sure you didn't get compensated.
And then the interviewee would answer me in Spanish, and I would relay the information to him in English.
When they get you for that?
Not a damn thing.
Thanks, Jamie. We couldn't have did it without you.
But he was like so in awe. Like he was when all the interviews were done, he was like, "That was amazing." I'm like,
so pay
I'm
me
just
for
changing
it.
the language from one to the other. I don't know what's so amazing about it, but yeah, no. But compensation, I don't know.
Like I just feel like bilingual people do not get compensated enough for being bilingual. Like when people see it, they're like, "That's amazing! You have such a leg up." But we never get paid that way.
Right.
We never get compensated
like some
that
customer
way.
service jobs, you will get some sort of incentive for being Hispanic. They will pay you a little more, but for the most part, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get extra for that.
And that translation is not as easy as people.
No.
It's not, because then
No.
I remember one time they pulled me. They were like, it was a trauma alert, whatever. They pulled me into the room. Like, we really need you, whatever. I go in there. She's speaking. I'm speaking. We're not speaking the same language. I caught some words. I was like, she's Portuguese.
Duh.
Every language that you don't understand is not Spanish.
The same thing happened to me. A former boss, one of the shitty boss. Her cleaning people, she needed to communicate with them. She called me. This was like a Friday evening. I wasn't like
like after hours.
Yes,
No.
there's translator apps. Like,
But people don't like to mess with
they're
them.
Portuguese. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I know some words.
Right.
I don't know what
Yeah,
they're
some
saying.
Portuguese, a little Italian.
It's not
That's
the
it.
same language.
It's not the same.
Nope.
And they were like, I feel like they were like adamant about me trying to figure it out. No.
No.
You trying to figure it out and me trying to figure it out is the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
I don't speak
Let's
Portuguese.
put our words together.
Right.
Figure it out.
And even with us, Dominican, Puerto Rican, do we speak Spanish? Yes. But there are still certain words that are different.
Absolutely.
Mexican, same thing. They have certain words for things that we do not use. One of my favorite examples is the rice that gets stuck at the bottom of the pot. Puerto Ricans call it pegao,
and we call
Dominicans call it con con. Like, little things like that. So yes, we can understand each other, we can communicate, but then there's completely different Spanish, like the Portuguese.
Right.
I can't I have no idea what the Portuguese person is telling you. You go find someone who speaks Portuguese.
Yeah, pretty much.
Leave
me alone. No.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, so that's I always had an issue with that. I'm like, y'all always love that I'm bilingual, but don't want to pay me for it. So I think it's off my resume. I don't have it on my resume anymore.
No.
You'll figure it out. Because you're not going to pay me for it.
Yeah, so what difference does it make?
What difference does it make? I feel like I've never gotten paid for being bilingual. But as soon as you need somebody, hey, Mel. Whatever. People always so nice when they need something.
And then they feel like we're so much more interesting when they find out that we're Hispanic. Because there was a person that I used to work with.
It's like it's an interview.
Thought I was black.
Or they'd be like, how'd you learn Spanish?
Right. Like, thought I was black. Never spoke a word to me. And then when they found out that I speak Spanish, I didn't know you were Hispanic. So now you find me interesting and you want to have a conversation? No.
You didn't care about me when you just thought I was an American girl.
Go away. Go away. Are you mixed? It's
Someone
so
asked
exotic.
me
Right.
if
Oh,
I-
God.
if
Exotic.
I dream in Spanish. And I'm like,
Oh my God, somebody asked me that.
I don't know.
I do not.
I'm like, I
I'm
don't think
pretty
so.
sure it's in English.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe
it's in
I
English
dream of
too.
my Spanish speaking only family members. Maybe that dream is in Spanish, but I don't
Maybe.
know. I never thought about it.
I don't know.
Yeah, no.
I've never thought about
Such
it.
a weird fucking question.
Like,
It was very innocent, and the
Right.
person who asked is
and like
very
a
nice
real,
person.
like they
It
really
was,
wanted to know.
real.
Like, do you dream in Spanish?
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't think I do.
Now I'm gonna pay attention. Maybe I do. I don't know.
But I've been fortunate. I haven't had a lot of shitty bosses, just ones that were incompetent. Like, they weren't shitty necessarily to me, but it was
I would
obvious.
rather you call me shitty or incompetent.
It was obvious that you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And when
How'd you slide in this position?
Yeah, you as someone who's getting paid 6 figures is coming to me who barely makes 40 grand a year to ask me a question about something you're responsible for?
Don't ask me because I'm as dumb.
Like, I love to be helpful and I will help you out where I can, but if you're taking me away like constantly from my own work,
Right. To help you with yours.
no. I can't do that. Like, I'm very grateful for the boss I have now. I have a great boss now, and he's always looking to help me elevate, get better at the job, help me with building my resume and adding projects to what I'm doing. Like, if you're not the type of boss who makes it a point to get your employees to a better position, to help them rise up either within the company or to move out into a better position to another company, then you're pretty much useless to me.
Right.
If I can't learn from you, then we don't really have anything to talk about other than my work. Like, then that's it. But for a long time, like as I say, for maybe the first year or a year and a half after my boss got there, he asked me a lot of questions.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah, I was not a fan of my boss at first.
Because I think we both felt like that should have been your job. And they came on and hired somebody else,
right.
and then you had to pretty much somewhat train this person.
Right.
If I got to train you, and then you're my boss, that's not going to sit well.
Yeah.
And I just feel like jobs, like this is a message. You can't bring somebody else in, have you train them, and now they're your boss. Yeah. Why didn't you offer that job to me?
Right. No, and
I'm good enough to train, but not good enough to promote.
Right. And I totally agree with that. But with where the job I am now, the way they do their books and how everything works there is very different. It's a completely different animal from any other accounting job that I've ever had. So he did need a little bit more training. So, I was okay with doing that for a little while, but then it was a little too much after a while. And then eventually we finally sort of figured each other out and I figured out his job a little bit. He figured out mine more every day.
Didn't he move here because the childcare was too expensive?
Girl, from California. He moved here from California with 3 kids.
He came from the West Coast.
He came from the West Coast. Mind you, he had 2 kids and his wife was pregnant, so there would have been a third going
Didn't find anything in between.
Couldn't find anything in between, apparently, and came all the way from...
That goes into $230.
Yeah, like y'all talking about before. Yeah. That's why he moved here. He's from upstate New York, and then he went to California, and now he's here in Philly, in Springfield.
I had a boss who didn't know how to send a calendar invite.
See, when you don't have the basic
stuff like
Microsoft Office training,
but yeah, and still the job is posted for you to be able to work Excel and Microsoft and type X amount of words per minute, but you can't send freaking
and not just that, like, all right, within each program or in Word, do you know how to do a mail merge? In Excel, do you know how to use formulas? Like little things like that, like.
And they'll ask you.
Oh yeah.
But your boss can't do it.
Yeah, right.
No, you got to do it so you can do it for your boss. You just didn't know about that part. You already signed up for the job.
Yeah. No, that's true. Now, you've been bosses to other people at some point, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, same here.
I am a fabulous boss.
Me too, because I am a pushover.
I'm sure my employees hated me. I ain't gonna sit up here and say I was a fabulous boss. I was a fabulous boss to those who showed me that they wanted to work.
I agree with that, because the people that I already knew was lazy. You couldn't get me with the bullshit.
Right.
Like those employees that come with their sob stories or whatever, like, oh, I'm going through a divorce, I need some time. That's personal shit. That has nothing to do with the job.
At the door,
but
please.
And I think that was my go ahead, finish your story before I go into my shitty bosses.
No, because all right, so we were on a 6-month rotation for interns. You guys have seen my IG and Facebook posts over the past, 5 years now, of me having issues with my interns. Okay, me personally, because these were Drexel interns or Drexel students, as an alumni, I went into my co-ops with passion.
Sorry, I just hear a noise. Is that Bella?
I think so.
I'm like, where is she?
I don't know. She's playing with something.
Oh, under the table.
Oh, under the table. Okay.
I just hear the rattling. And I don't even know where that toy is. That toy is a year old from when I got her. I don't even know where she got it from.
Yeah, so so I would be stuck with an intern for 6 months, and then there wouldn't even be a gap. It would go from one intern on Friday when they were done, and then a new intern would come in on Monday. So I was constantly having to retrain people It was
like driving us crazy. Hearing the stories of how it drove you crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like that has to be so. I know that was frustrating.
Nuts. So like I was saying, look, I go in with passion. I want to learn. Like, I'm about to graduate from school. I need to know what this real world shit looks like. So I'm enthusiastic. I'm going to do everything. Whatever you want me to do. You want me to go for that coffee run? Sure. Like, I don't know how to make coffee, but I'm going to learn today. But I'm not a coffee drinker, so.
I remember somebody asked me to make coffee, and when I told them I didn't know how, they was like, really?
Yeah, bitch.
No, really. First of all, my mom makes it on the stove. We don't have instant coffee pot makers.
Oh my God. So these interns, they were not of Drexel University caliber. I'm sorry, because I compared them to me. I compared them to me. If you don't come in here with the same enthusiasm as I do, and I understand everybody's work ethic is different, but as a student, you need to be paying attention. You need to be taking notes, and I would tell them all the time, take notes, because this was the process. Week 1, it's me in the driver's seat. You are sitting beside me with a pen and paper, taking notes. There were so many times where I would stop and be like, you might want to write that down. You might want to write that down. Did you write that down?
Write it down.
Because I know you're going to come to me in 2-3 weeks and ask me something that I know I reviewed with you. So week 1, I sat in the driver's seat. I went through the entire process beginning to end. Week 2, you're in the driver's seat and I'm directing you what to do. Okay, do this, do that, so you can get a feel of where everything is. Week 3, you are still in the driver's seat, but I am no longer navigating. I'm sitting there to watch you to see how you perform. And then it's still week 3. I understand you should be asking me questions. Should I do this? Should I click here? Okay, fine. Week 4, I'm hands off because I got to get back to my work because now I've taken 3 weeks. Right, I've taken 3 weeks to show you these things, so now I have to catch up.
And you know if they're paying attention based on the kind of questions they ask. If they're asking me something real basic that you taught from the beginning, so you were paying attention from day one.
Right. So yeah, then I would get I would get certain questions just kind of like, yep. I'll answer that question fine. But if you come back to me next week and ask me the same question, we're going to have to sit down and do some retraining because I don't have the time. Yeah. I don't have the time to sit there and retrain you again. I just don't. It's a 6-month co-op, which means by month 2, 3, you should know your entire
I can't give you a month process. Of training. You're only here for 6 months.
Right. And because in the last 3 months, I'm hoping I don't have to deal with you at all anymore other than to approve your timesheet. Like, that's it. So a lot of them were just not good, but then I had a handful that were excellent to the point where I'm like, yo, this motherfucker trying to take my job. He trying to take my job.
All right, slow down.
Let me retrain him in the show.
Yeah, like they were so good. They were setting up the next co-op for success. But 9 times out of 10, I did not get back-to-back good co-ops.
No, you really didn't.
It very rarely happened. But the excuses that they would come with, my girlfriend broke up with me. Can I leave early? Boo-boo, if you don't sit your heartbroken ass down and enter them invoices, get the fuck out my face. This guy would leave for 30, 45 minutes. This was when, what's the game where you catch the monsters?
Resident Evil?
No. You catch them.
That Pokemon
Pokemon Go.
Like, wait, the Pokemon
when Pokemon Go came out, and listen, I was guilty of this too. I would be out in the street like
be part of that movie
catching
on. I think I caught like 2 of them.
I'll be on the L trying to catch the Pokemon.
One of them was like, go to Hunter Park. I said no. I'ma quit.
Yo, somebody got shot there. A woman got shot and killed in the little gazebo. The gazebo.
That's where we used to dance.
Yeah.
Like, they shooting bitches down?
Yes.
I woke up to that.
Catching a Pokemon?
No, that's not. This was last.
So she just got shot.
Yeah, no, she just got shot.
Like last week.
Yeah, last week. But yeah, he would leave, and I'm like, yo, like I was looking for you, like
gotta catch him out.
Right. Listen. He admitted it to me. He was clipping his toenails at his desk. That one. Baby, when I tell you.
Maybe I should do like a little workplace etiquette ebook because people really don't.
They don't.
They what you do in your personal life and your personal space, you can't do at work.
Because the space that we have, we're not facing each other, but he's in the same space. So if I'm sitting over here, he's over here.
But why the toenails,
girl? And all I heard was
the noise on your
click.
This nail
click. And I turned around. I said, "Are you clipping your toenail?" Yeah, they very long.
Yeah, they're
boy.
Yes, I am. Would you like to help me?
I said, "Get the clippings off the floor."
He didn't even throw it over the trash can.
He didn't put his foot over the trash can.
Why did y'all keep him?
No, I'm sorry. No, he did. He had the trash can right underneath. But sometimes the nail clipping, they just go.
I just thought of that episode of Martin when the fucking toenail goes and knocks Gina out. That could have been you. We could have lost you.
Oh my God. And he never used to wear socks. And we asked him one day to wear some socks.
The worst one.
No, baby.
No, who was the other one?
The Italian girl. The Italian girl that used to pull out her eyebrow hairs.
Whenever she
was stressed?
Just in general.
Just for fun.
She would sit there, like I would turn around, like she didn't know I was watching because again, we was back to back, so she had her back to me. So I just sat there one day and just watched her. For a good few minutes.
That's not creepy, but okay.
Oh, I ain't give a fuck.
Like, who's the creepier person?
Oh, let me tell you something. Don't give me any ounce of power because I'm gonna take that shit and run.
Oh yeah,
okay?
Same. Same.
No. Because they had to answer to me. Because then I would have to report back to my supervisor on them.
What was on that report? Pulling out.
She sat there, hand on the mouse, never moved it, never typed the thing, and several minutes went by.
But like,
and she's sitting there like this. She was always picking at her eyebrows. Eyebrow, not lashes, her brows. She was constantly going, not pulling the hair out, but just constantly pulling at them. Like it was like this.
Like a nervous thing. Like
it was like a
be
twitch.
Like yanking their hair on.
Yeah. When I tell you, the job starts 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Friday they got off at 3 or something like that because they didn't have a full 40-hour week. She came in whatever time she wanted. She would be an hour and a half late. Never called. Never texted.
She was a volunteer.
Nothing. Wouldn't no show. But because
and y'all kept her the whole time, right?
But because of the job we had to have a body in that seat.
Yeah.
And there was no way that I was going to take the time to retrain a whole new person just to be there a couple of months. So when we got them, we were just stuck with them. And unfortunately, the system that they have going on at Drexel with their co-op program, you didn't always get matched up with your first choice. We had a list of people.
To be each other's first choice.
Right. So they would match the ones with the ones, the twos with the twos, and so forth, so on and so forth. And somehow we always ended up scraping the bottom of the barrel. And when I tell you, we used to scrape. Oh, we was never
not the good ones.
Which is crazy because I don't think there wasn't any other co-op jobs that could have compared to the type of experience that you were left with from that job. Because the program, I'm sure, was around when I was in at Drexel. If that job would have been available, I would have taken it in a heartbeat because it teaches you, it truly gets you prepared for that real world shit.
Their co-op program was like real deal.
Oh yeah, no, Drexel's co-op program is amazing.
And they ask fancy.
It's amazing, yeah, and y'all.
I still don't think
we already said y'all ain't getting no more money.
No, you ain't getting no more money.
I feel like she's still not worse than a toenail clipper.
I don't
know.
They were bad in their own right.
I don't know if I would have set him on break or if I would have went on break.
Oh my God!
Somebody got to leave the office.
And she did that. She formerly was an engineering major because Drexel is big. It's an engineering school, and she changed majors like the prior trimester, whatever they call them. And went into accounting. I don't know if she just didn't want to deal with numbers in engineering because baby, accounting ain't nothing but numbers. So I don't know what you're doing. But I'm pretty sure she probably switched her major yet again after that.
You remember her name? We should look up to see what she's doing with her life.
I can find it.
I wonder if she still has eyebrows.
I can put listen, that's none of my business. And we never talk. Like I will always engage, like have just, regular chit chat with I never got to know her. The only thing I knew about her was that her dad was a cop. That was it. And I'm pretty sure she was like one of those daddy's girls, spoiled.
Yeah, I was like, it's all making sense in my head. Like, oh, it's fine. I'm just here because I gotta get this college credit.
Like, and then we tried to work with her. We told her, like, listen, we can't have this. We need you here at a certain time. You need to let us know when you're not gonna be here.
Trying to get
what works for you? We don't do that with our co-ops. We give you the fucking time. Be here and leave when you're supposed to. And ask it, request if you need the time off. We'll give it to you. But don't just not show up and don't tell nobody.
I admire people like that. There's like a certain group of people in the world that just do whatever the fuck they want. And I applaud you. And they don't get fired. They don't get in trouble. But if you did it, they would be like, we need to have a talk. If I did it, I don't have a job. But there's you got to be born a certain way or something.
Like she just truly gave no fucks. And she showed it to me every single day. Like, normally we have a big goodbye for people. I requested the day off on her last day. I'm not going to sit up here and pretend like she did a good
nonsense.
job. You guys can sit there and do that, but I know better.
Right.
Yeah, so it was him, and then there was another kid that was terrified of me.
Oh, I remember that one.
To the point that he would go to the HR assistant to ask for help on his work, and she's like, I don't work in your department. I can't tell. But he
help you.
constantly asked me the same questions
That
all
was
the
the
time.
problem.
I cannot hold your hand for these next 6 months, sweetheart. You got to get it together. And he just knew I was like, I was not a fan of him. He was terrified of me.
Right.
And
you don't like me. No, it's not that I don't like you. Your work ethic fucking sucks.
yeah, the work is
It's
just
not a personal thing.
like I gave you the keys to the kingdom and you dropped them. Yeah, dropped
Multiple times.
many times. Yeah, but and thank God we don't have to do co-ops anymore. Do we have Drexel co-ops at the corporation I'm at? Yes, but they are not in my department anymore. We hired a permanent person because I pushed for that shit. The last co-op that was there was when I went on maternity leave in 2019, and then I came to say goodbye on his last day. When I came back, the permanent guy was there. Yeah, I was when I brought Zola up so that they could meet the baby. But after that, thank God, I was like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it to have to I would love to help you with your career.
Paid, right?
Yes, they were getting paid.
They were
we even raised the hourly rate because I think it was pretty low. It's a nonprofit, so you can't expect too much. But like I said, the experience that you leave with after those 6 months, you could have gotten a job almost anywhere.
Right.
Almost anywhere. And then there was another girl, like the polar opposites. She was amazing. She had great work ethic. She was there every single day. She had 2 other jobs, so she would leave where she was working with me and go work until like 10, 11 o'clock at night at a restaurant on her feet for the rest of the night, and still full-time and still doing full-time in college. Like she was still taking classes. No, she was not. She was Asian.
I was like, because we be working hard.
No, she was Asian. You know what? I never had a Hispanic co-op. They were either black, white, or Asian. Yep, that's it.
I can't remember any of my bosses that were particularly shitty. Mm-hmm. Well, no. I'm going to call them Barbie and Skipper. And if you worked at Torresdale, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. They don't work there anymore. But they were the reason why I transferred to Frankfurt. Mm-hmm. They came in like Barbie and Skipper. They did everything together. They reminded me of like those girls in high school or middle school. They'd be like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Come with me. Come with me to the bathroom. Oh my God. Like, no, bitch, I pee alone.
Not at work.
Right. Like, you would not see one without the other.
Were they related?
And
husband and
no, they were. They worked together at a different hospital in Jersey. Originally from Jersey. Something sketchy happened there because my investigative skills found out. Something sketchy happened there, and then they crossed the bridge and ended up working for our hospital.
Okay.
But they just, I'm pretty sure, so there was like the Barbie, who was the head boss, was young, beautiful, like pretty girl. Dumb
as a box of rocks.
I don't know how she got into the position that she got into, but then I realized Skipper, the less attractive one, older, was the one doing all the work. So she was smart enough to team up with somebody that was a brain that would just follow her around. I'm like, you're like 15 years her senior. Like, you don't see what she's doing to you? Mm-hmm. But they would like, the only time you saw Barbie pulling somebody into the office, that's the only time she was by herself, because she would be like, oh, okay, so this is going on. Oh, that's a cute bag. Where you get that from? Oh, you married? Oh, like trying to get into people's like lives, like, and she was just real. Like, she instead of worrying about the job, like if I came to her for a concern, it was like, oh, I heard you just came back from vacation. Did y'all have fun? What does your fiance do for a living? Bitch, I paid for the trip. What do you want? It was just really weird, and they just made it like damn near impossible to work there. Like, I just that was my main reason for leaving Torresdale. And again, back to my quote. People don't leave jobs for their work environment, because we tolerate a lot. Mm-hmm. But when you don't have a manager that supports you or that backs you up or that's going to throw you under the bus, that's when you just be like, I'm out of here. Yeah. Like, I'm out of here. I'm just,
Okay, that's enough of that for today, for this week. Come back next week for more girl talk on 9-to-5 life, shitty bosses, and entrepreneurship.